Welcome to this week's edition of Black Authors Matter TV, where we interview the latest movers and shakers in the African American literary community. You'll meet some old friends, discover new ones, and stay abreast of the latest book developments around the country and even the world. So sit back and relax for the next 2 hours with Black Authors Matter TV co-hosts Gwen Richardson and Dr. Rhonda Lawson.
Good evening, and as you can see, Rhonda is geared up and ready to go.
And you know, you got to get hype. You have to get hype.
Yeah, you do. The music is kind of hypey. So welcome to another episode of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson, your host for tonight, along with my co-host,
Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Good evening, everybody.
And we are looking forward to another amazing show. Before we get started with our first guest, just a few housekeeping notes. The National Black Book Festival vendor space is completely sold out.
Did that author who
did.
She
She
said
got
she
me
was
a
going to do it
mask.
right away. Yep.
She did it. I told her we had one spot last Tuesday.
She said, I
jumped
want
on
it. I'm getting it right now.
And since then, I've gotten at least 5 emails, and I know between now and the festival, I get 100 people trying to get tables. And when we sell out, it's sold out because we don't do a waiting list. We have built-in drop-off numbers. So we are really looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting and amazing. We have some new developments, and we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. Also, Rhonda and I will be in Atlanta for those of you all who are living in Atlanta or are going to Atlanta. It's a lot that has been going on in Atlanta lately, book events. But we are going to attend the National Book Club Conference, which we attended last year.
And it was fun. I mean, it was so good to meet all those different book clubs because, I mean, what place can you go to meet that many book clubs in one place?
Yeah. And he's been doing it for over 20 years. So yes. Curtis Bond, kudos to you for keeping an event going that long. I know how challenging that can be because our event is 19 years old this year. So our first guest is an attorney and author of the book Our Minds Were Always Free. And she in her book, she's talking about intellectual property and our creativeness, and that most of the creative and cultural trends start in our community and then they spread out and other people adopt them or hijack them or whatever. So Lisa, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV. And
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Do you have a copy of your book handy?
I do. I'm happy to hold it up so people can see it.
Our minds were always free. I love the title.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Now you are an attorney by day and night.
Yes.
And you practice what kind of law?
So I'm an entertainment and intellectual property lawyer. So for over 30 years, I have been working with creative people, a lot of Black creative people, other creative folks of color, and have had kind of a front row seat to advocating for us when we are dealing with studios or publishing houses or streamers and trying to get our voices protected and to get the maximum amount of money to get what our ideas and our creativity is really worth.
So from when you first started, well, let me ask this. When you first started looking back on it, do you think you were naive? And not knowing you, I'm just saying all of us were naive before we weren't,
So I don't think I was naive because I think that was the motivation for me to become an entertainment lawyer was, if your household was anything like mine growing up, you had Ebony and Jet magazine, and you would see stories about somebody getting their Oscar seized because they didn't pay taxes,
Yeah.
or some kind of situation where they ended up broke, even though they had all these hit records or, hit television shows. So that was part of my motivation. I was somebody that grew up loving the arts and culture. I'm from New York. I went to the theater, I went to movies, I went to concerts, and I thought that, I could protect Black creative people by becoming a lawyer in that space.
I'll tell you that what you do is truly valued because, unfortunately, as much as social media is a thing right now, and people talk about it on social media all the time, people
Mhm.
still treat creatives like what they do is just a hobby. They
Hmm.
shouldn't actually get paid for it.
Right.
Or they treat the creative like they're being done a favor by asking them to use their time and energy and talents
Hmm.
toward helping somebody else make money.
Right. Right.
And they're not getting paid themselves, or they're being lowballed sometimes.
Well, I talk about that in the book. Towards the end of it, I talk about the impact of streaming and the digitization of creative endeavors and what that has done to the income that people receive. And one of the things that's happened with streaming music is that it has gotten people accustomed to getting music for free.
Yeah.
So they don't think, just as you said, they don't think that artists are entitled to make money. And I go through a whole illustration in the book. I talk about what, a Black artist with a hit record could have made literally, in 1997 when Napster first debuted, what they made based on CD sales as opposed to digital sales. And then what that got reduced to with streaming and what Spotify pays, it is a fraction of what people used to make. And of course, costs only go up, they don't go down.
Right.
So that's why people have to tour and do all of these things. It used to be that record royalties and music publishing royalties were an annuity. And if you had a decent record deal and you were a hit artist, you could continue to make money for years sitting in your house. And now you really can't from those passive income streams.
And we see that now. I guess we didn't think about it growing up, but the more we see these stories in the news, we look at what happened with TLC, with Tony Braxton, and
Hmm.
even with Michael Jackson. I did not even did not even hit me. I could not even fathom that he was basically broke by the time he died.
Hmm. Hmm.
And people don't think about it. They think, oh, Michael Jackson, he was always super rich. But
Hmm.
I remember the last movie I saw about him was a movie that his security guard had written a book, and they did
Hmm.
a movie based on his book. And he talked about how the last year or so that he was working for Michael, they weren't getting paid. They didn't have any money, and that was the reason why he planned that big tour that he never had a chance to go on because he
Hmm.
passed away.
Right, right. Well, I mean, artists are by definition not business people, and they love to create and they love to perform, and so often people just take advantage of them.
Right.
They take advantage of their lack of knowledge. And one of the things I used to talk to clients about this a lot when I first started out, which is don't be sort of seduced by a big upfront check, and make sure that you understand what you are giving up in order to get that big upfront check. And oftentimes people were selling, like let's take music publishing. They were selling their publishing catalogs, their copyrights, instead of doing a deal where they would say to a publishing company, you can administer, you can handle my publishing, but I still own it. And I will pay you a smaller fee, which means I get a smaller advance, but then I continue to own what I created. And
Hmm.
nobody sits down and explains the difference. And often when people are young, they think they're going to live forever. They think that the fame that they have when they're 25 is going to be the same thing when they're 45. So there are lots of reasons. But that's, with a lot of our artists, nobody takes the time to explain to them, what what they've created is really worth.
Yeah, they're so excited about somebody saying we're going to give you a record deal or whatever.
Or a book
Even
deal.
in book deal, it happens in the publishing. Now, I'm not sure how the system works in the music industry, but in books, I'm sure you probably know that people they get an advance, but they might not see a dime for 2 years.
More than 2 years. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
the
might not ever see it.
they might not ever earn out that advance. I mean,
Right.
nobody should write books hoping to get rich. That's not why you write a book. You should write a book because you have something to say. And the difference, at least with publishing, is you're not giving up your copyright. The publishing company is getting the exclusive right to publish your book, but you hold on to your copyright. Unlike in the music business, where when you record, the record company owns those recordings, and depending on what kind of deal you make for the songs that you've written, you may control half of your publishing, 75% of your publishing, or none of your publishing. And what I detail in the book, I go back, well, I go back all the way to the colonial era, but in terms of music, I go back to Bessie Smith, at the turn of the last century. And she was somebody that was incredibly successful during her life. She was one of the highest paid performers, but the record company executives at Columbia Records basically completely ripped her off. They crossed out the royalty provisions and they paid her $250 per master recording. And she never made any royalties. So when she died in a car accident in 1937, that was the end of her ability to passively make money. So her husband and her son got nothing. And her son sued 33 years later. And because he hadn't been formally adopted, because the statute of limitations had run, he couldn't get anything, even though at the time Sony was bragging in its annual reports to shareholders saying, our most popular reissues are Bessie Smith.
Wow.
So they were making money decades after her death, and her family saw none of it.
That is so sad.
Yeah, it is really, really not only sad, but it's just infuriating.
Right. That's right.
If you watch Unsung,
Mm-hmm.
everybody basically has the same story in
Mm-hmm.
that they don't get that they don't end up with the money.
Mm-hmm.
They have some sort of personal internal beef if it's a group,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's an individual, they don't have any good representation, or they have a mate that's ripping them off, or they're on drugs, the drug dealer's ripping them off, somebody's ripping them off. So, but the companies, they make long money on these entertainers, and the entertainers end up with nothing. They made some movies or biops that kind of portray it.
Well, yeah, look at New
New
Edition.
Edition, that one was good.
The Clark sisters.
Yes, the Clark sisters. The Temptations one was more about internal conflict than it was about them getting paid, but the same thing happened. And now Ray Charles, he owned his masters, which was really unheard of back then. But so he was able to pass on millions to his many children that he had.
Absolutely. Well, the thing about my book is that I don't dwell just on the stories of where we were ripped off, because I want people that read this to understand both the breadth and scope of what Black people created, but also the methods that many of us used to hold on to that wealth. So every story is not a story of, it's not like Unsung. It is, there's a balance. So I tell the story of the first Black man to get a patent, Thomas Jennings, who got a patent for the precursor to dry cleaning called dry scouring. And this was in the 1830s in New York. He was a tailor, and he was trying to come up with a way that his clientele could clean some of the fine fabrics that he worked in. He worked in silk and wool. And so he developed this method, and it's the precursor to the dry cleaning method we use today. And he got a patent, and he took the money that he made from that patent and he plowed it into the cause of abolition. He went to the Free Men of Color conventions in Philadelphia, where they were trying to buy land in Canada for escaped enslaved people. They were trying to set up a college in New Haven for Black men. So, and then his daughter went on to be an activist and ended up desegregating public transportation in New York City almost exactly 100 years before Rosa Parks. So, the stories are not just stories of situations where we've been ripped off, but also situations where we figured it out, we triumphed, we harnessed the law to protect ourselves, and there are really some fun stories in the book as
I'm
well.
really glad that you don't just focus on the struggle story or the woe is me story, but you're also saying this is how we were able to achieve, or this is how we were able to be victorious. Because I think we need to see that side of the story as well. It
Right,
doesn't always have to be, oh, this is what happened to us. We were always the victim. Sometimes we were the victor, and we need
right.
to hear those stories as well.
No, absolutely. I mean, and what I say about this book is that it is both a cautionary tale and an instruction manual. Because if you look at the story of somebody like Thomas Jennings, if you look, fast forward 120 years, 130 years at somebody like Berry Gordy, if you look at how Sidney Poitier parlayed his career as an actor into a career as a studio owner, and that's how we got Uptown Saturday Night. He said, I know that the mainstream studios want to show one version of Black people. I want to show three dimensions of Black people. And that's what, when he was able to co-own a movie studio with Paul Newman and Barbara Streisand and Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman and Sidney Poitier, he did Buck and the Preacher, he did Uptown Saturday Night, he did Let's Do It Again through that deal. So, it's also getting us to understand that when we control the, the companies that are making the music, the movies, or creating whatever unique inventions we've come up with, that we have so much more agency and power. And so, there are lessons in this book about that as well.
Yeah, one of the current cultural victories, it's been 20 years now, but Tyler Perry really understood that he needed to own his work. And when he first started doing the plays, the stage plays, and he put them on DVD, he was doing independent distributing.
Hmm.
And we had a brick and mortar store. My husband and I had a brick and mortar store at that time. And Tyler Perry was only selling those DVDs through Black stores.
Right, that's
So
true.
that was the only way people could get them.
Right, right.
And he really was committed. He was really ahead of his time in that. He was serious about it. So it stayed that way for
Well,
about 5 years or so. And then when he sold to Lionsgate and was in Walmart, then it all ended. But for 5 good years, Black bookstores and any kind of cultural store had
well,
really steady business because of that.
well, I talk about Tyler in the book. There's a chapter that talks about, really Tyler is the outgrowth of Oprah and Spike Lee. Before Tyler, Spike was doing films independently. Now they were going out through mainstream studios, but he was writing, directing, producing, and assembling an entire crew of mostly Black department heads. The craft unions that do all of the production work in Hollywood tended not to have Black people in them. So you might see Black people in front of the camera, but not behind the camera. And Spike really changed that by having, costume design. Ruth Carter started out working with Spike before she was working with Ryan Coogler on Black Panther. And, Wynn Thomas and Ernest Dickerson, he had all these Black department heads, and he, controlled his intellectual property before he did the deals with the studio so he could control the images of Black people that he wanted to put out. And Oprah, by owning her show,
Yes.
That's how she became a billionaire,
Mhm.
by owning it. And one of the things that she did, she changed the cultural conversation with Oprah's book club. She made Toni Morrison a best-selling novelist 20 years after
Yes.
Song of Solomon came out.
Yes.
So these are the kinds of, so, and Tyler credits Oprah for, schooling him
Yes.
on
Mhm.
how to own and control his own IP. So he is an outgrowth of really the two of them. So there's a chapter that talks about all three of them and Don Cornelius.
Yes. Now, the difference with Tyler is that he put his work on a DVD, or it was VHS at first.
Right,
So
sure.
that he did that. He distributed, he did the stage plays, and then
Right,
he filmed them, and
right.
then he distributed them that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that in that way he's different
Yes.
because he was able to make a lot of money on the distribution.
Mm-hmm.
The price point, because people were so hungry for those stage play DVDs,
Mm-hmm.
$30 was not they didn't even squawk about paying $30
Wow.
per. I mean, it was,
Mm-hmm.
we were shipping them. I mean, we couldn't keep them. We were getting,
Wow.
he used an independent distributor
Mm-hmm.
that shipped everything that
Mm-hmm.
was Black.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
everybody from
Mm-hmm.
the start, the creative to the
Mm-hmm.
distribution to the retail was Black.
Well, I'll tell you, that is a model that we need to be looking at again,
Yes,
because what we're seeing right now, we are under attack. And so
Yes.
we should be thinking at every point in the supply chain, how do we empower Black people so that A, people can't put a chokehold on our content, but B, we're building wealth within our community.
right.
Yeah.
And you
Now, I'm
also don't have to compromise content.
Mm-hmm.
When
Right.
you're not trying to appease some other group,
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
can present it the way you want to present it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now I know we're running out of time, but a couple of things I did want to hit on before we go too far in, before we run out of time. But two
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm an AI consultant, so I don't vilify AI at all.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do know that there are people who feel that they don't have to get an attorney because they can just ask AI, or they don't have to pay a creative because they can make it their self with AI. And so some people are starting to use AI more as a replacement than as a tool. And I teach people how to use it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they feel like they don't need the human anymore because they can just get AI to do everything. And my AI even tells me, "Hey, I'm going to draft this for you, but I'm not a lawyer, so make sure you get your attorney to look at this." That's what my AI tells me. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what other people's AI tell them. But I did, as an attorney,
Mm-hmm.
especially one who represents creatives.
Mm-hmm.
How do you advise your clients or anybody in the creative space when it comes to AI use?
Well, what I tell people, here's the thing about AI. You can't copyright it.
Exactly.
You cannot protect it
Exactly.
because it is not human. The other thing is that AI is pattern recognition. So it cannot create anything new. It does not have independent intelligence. And I think people are hungry for human stories.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if
Yeah.
you And the other thing is, people using AI for research. It's wrong like 40% of the time. That's too high. If I,
Yes.
I wrote this book, there are about 40 pages of footnotes. I did not use AI and I didn't use it for research. I didn't use it for writing. I didn't use it for anything in this book. And I think, like you said, it can be a tool, but I think for creatives, they should not use it because they are jeopardizing their ability to own and control what they create because
Mm-hmm.
they're muddying the waters by using AI.
Yeah, I just actually posted a video just a couple days ago about using AI to write your book. Now, I don't have a problem with people who use it to help them with their creative process. Maybe you want to use it to outline, or you want to
Hmm.
use it for maybe trying to develop your characters. But when it actually comes to writing, you
Hmm.
need to use your human talents for actually writing your book.
Right.
But there's so many videos out there and people who are saying you can use AI to write your entire book. And just like you said, you can't copyright a book that's 100% AI written.
Right.
So you have to use your own talents for that.
Right. And the thing is, just because you could write a book doesn't mean you should. Not everybody's
Exactly.
talented. Not everybody's a good writer.
We
And,
know.
We know
and
both Rhonda and I are authors, so
Yeah.
we're writers ourselves.
right.
So and we've both written over 10 books. I
Hmm.
forgot what Rhonda's number is, but
Hmm.
so and we wrote them ourselves
Right.
from here and the heart,
Right.
from the head and from the heart. So
Yeah,
um
well, that was the first question I wanted to ask. I wanted to know what your views were on it as an attorney. But the other part is, I think that often as solopreneurs, we sacrifice certain things because we don't want to pay for everything. If we're money out, money out, money out, how do
Hmm.
we save the money coming in? So we
Hmm.
start to cut corners, especially when it comes to something like an attorney. We think that that's optional unless something really big happens. What is a piece of advice you would give to solopreneurs who are trying to make it and they're trying to do it right, but maybe they just don't have the money that to build that team that they think they need?
Well, I think there are lawyers kind of at every price point, and sometimes there are like some law schools will have clinics that work with startup businesses. So I would say go to your local law school and see if they have, and they're supervised by professors. So it's not
right,
as if you're just working with law students.
right.
But
Mhm.
the problem with saying I can't afford a lawyer, in a sense, you can't afford not to have a lawyer because you will make expensive mistakes that you might not be able to come back from. A perfect example is the name of your business and the brand. So many times people come up with an idea of a name, they think it's clever, they start doing all this branding, and then they get a cease and desist letter from somebody who owns that trademark. A lawyer can help you prevent you from making that mistake because they'll say, well, we'll do a search, we'll see whether or not there's anybody that owns that trademark, and often there is, and then we say, okay, come up with a different name. So that's one example. Another one is anytime I always tell people, if you are about to sign a contract, you need a lawyer. Do not, because
Right.
it's written,
I agree.
we write in a language that only lawyers understand. So you may think
Oh, you ain't lying about
Right.
that.
It's called
you know,
legalese. And
exactly,
Yeah.
it's
exactly.
yeah, and it's I guess the original lawyers came up with that as a way of job protection or whatever.
Exactly. No,
So
that's
because it's not normal claim, it's not normal speech.
that's right.
Well,
So
unfortunately, we have hit the bottom of the hour, but if you could show us your book one more time, let us know where there it is,
There
where
it
we
is.
can find it, and what is that one last thing you would like to leave the audience with?
So first of all, Our Minds Were Always Free. It's available wherever books are sold. So your local independent Black bookstore, bookshop.org, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. It's published by Simon and Schuster. And the one thing that I would like to leave people with is that we should understand there is no culture in America without Black people. There's also no innovation without Black people. People always think of us in terms of entertainment, but if you go back in history, a lot of the scientific innovations, a lot of the industrial revolution innovations were powered by Black people, Black inventors, Black people that worked with Thomas Edison. So we should never think that we are not capable of world building, because that's what we did here with very little, except our minds.
Right. You're right. Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. And a lot of times, we were working with limited resources and we would come up with things. But this is an amazing conversation, and continued success with your book. We've been seeing it, all throughout social media, and that was why we reached out to you to be a guest on the show. And much success with your career as well.
Thank you so much. And thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Have a great night.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
Mm-hmm. Before we bring on our next guest, I do want to just piggyback on what you were talking about people using AI to write their books. And as you know, the audience may know, but I know you know, Rhonda, we have the Black Authors Matter Children's Book Awards, and we'll be announcing the finalists 2 weeks from now, at the show 2 weeks from now. But it was clear that several of the submissions were AI produced. I'll say that. So needless to say, those people didn't win, or they didn't make the finalist cut, because it was clear. It was clear.
And I just want to clarify, I am not, and as you know, being an AI consultant, I'm not against the use of AI. However, I am against using it to replace literacy. When it comes to writing, when it comes to reading, when it comes to comprehending what you're reading, and being able to affect the next generation, I believe that it should be used as a tool, but it should never be used to replace actual writing. Because and I don't know if you saw the story that I posted yesterday from, I believe it was from Jason Reynolds, who's a young adult author.
I know who he is.
Okay. But he said what he's afraid of is not so much AI, but that AI winds up replacing actual skill, to where people don't know how to write. If AI actually went away, people won't know how to pick up a pen and tell their stories, or to just do any type of writing at all. So that's why I believe it should be used as a tool. It should be a part of your toolkit, but it should never be the end all and be all of your writing.
Well, and we're going to be bringing on this next guest, but if you didn't get to read Troy Johnson's article about the Juneteenth children's book being an AI book, go out there and read it. Troy Johnson with AALBC. The name of the author's name is not even a real name. And he found out that, because he does a bestseller list, and the author's name, he found that author's name with several other books that are collections of a summary of a particular thing. So that book on Juneteenth basically just summarized what Juneteenth is about, but it was an AI written book. So as people submit their books for competitions, and Amazon is really starting to crack down on AI books, because people have been some people were submitting a book, 5 books a week and stuff, or more than that, to try to make money on an AI written book. So anyway, there are no shortcuts in life. You can try to pretend and play, but just do it the right way. So anyway, we're bringing on our next guest, Vonda Howard. and Vonda writes romances. And Vonda will be at the National Black Book Festival. And she's also doing a seminar. So while she's there about writing. So Vonda, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
You were so still at first. I thought it was just like an image of you. I was waiting for it to switch over to the real person. This we were talking about AI, you know. So, Vonda, tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you start writing and what made you start writing romance in particular.
Well, I've been writing since I was, oh man, since I was like 11. I think that was the first time I wrote something. My
Okay.
mother was my very first editor. Um, and ever since then, it's just been, I love all kinds of writing, journaling, um, you name it, poetry. I've always loved it. And I know it probably sounds cliche, but the thing that got me on romance when I was little was Cinderella. You remember Wonderful World at Disney used to come on
Yes,
TV? Yeah,
yes.
and that's the first time I saw Cinderella, and that was it. I was on, the whole Prince Charming thing and stuff like that.
And,
So
and,
I
and
love
it, they
romance.
all
Yeah.
end with happily ever after.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why I love romance so much. I don't want to be depressed after reading the book.
Some romance can be depressing, but
Yes, yes.
normally not the end. It's always a happily ever after
Yeah, like
end.
'cause like the time traveler's wife and what is it? Something in her stars. I can't think of it right now. Some of those romances, I said I've read them and watched the movies once. That was it. That was- Yes, so that's been for me. I just love romance. Um I love love. I guess that's the best way for me to say it.
Okay. And how many books do you have so far?
Right now, I have four with the next one coming in August. In August, and then
Okay.
next year with my new publisher, I have one coming with them.
Okay, so are you with a traditional publisher, one of the big ones, or was it more of a independent boutique publisher?
Well, they're independent, Black Odyssey Media.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
you were with Black Odyssey.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so because your book hasn't come out yet with them.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no.
okay,
So
Probably
yeah, we
okay.
sometime
know
next year, probably,
Entice.
yeah.
Entice will be at the festival, and
Yeah,
we've known Entice for years.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing her in person when we get down there.
Yeah, we met Entice when she was well, she didn't have Black Odyssey when we met her.
Yeah.
So she was an author, and I think she had started doing films
Yeah, yeah. So she's been in the game in the genre
for a while.
for a while. It's been a
For
while. So
for
yeah.
her to at her age, which I don't know is her exact age. I know she's fairly young
Hmm.
for having done all the different things she's done, and then she
Yeah.
was able to get her own imprint, partnering with Kensington, which was great.
I know. I thought that was amazing when I saw it. I was like, okay, and I saw the submissions was open. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I've always wanted to be under a traditional publisher. So um when I finally sent it through, um, and when I got a response, I was like, oh, so I was
Love
like,
that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
So
yes,
how long did it take you to get a response back from when you submitted it originally?
it took about a week.
Oh, it was quick.
Yeah, it was quick. So but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so I told a couple of my published friends, they were like, oh, you must be good then. I need to read
Yeah,
this. Like,
normally
yeah,
it takes months before you hear something back.
yeah, it was like a week. And so I was happy that they liked what I had written because it's my very first paranormal romance
Oh,
because I
wow.
love paranormal romance.
Oh,
And-
now wait, do tell now. You can't just make that a little bump on the side of the road. Now talk to me about the paranormal romance.
Okay, okay. So there's on one side, on contemporary side is Vonda Howard. That's me. It's all self-published. And then on my paranormal side is Veronica Francis. And so she's doing a paranormal side, which is mostly werewolves, shapeshifters, vampires. I don't do demons, witches, and ghosts. But yeah, so
Well,
it's
shapeshifters are scary enough for me.
yeah, yeah.
So your pseudonym for the paranormal is Veronica. What was the last name?
Francis.
Francis. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are my two grandmother's first names.
oh, okay. Okay. That's it's good to have something that reflects
Yeah,
that the name you pick is a reflection of something,
yeah,
family
yeah.
history in this case. So, but that's great. I didn't even know about your Black Odyssey Media um, thing because we get the notifications when the
Mhm.
books are slated to release. Like normally we get it 3 to 6 months before they come out.
Yeah, yeah, because they did the Publishers Weekly announcement, but they haven't done anything like that yet. So I'm assuming it's probably coming soon. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about the theme for your books because you said you have a series and
Mhm.
your seminar is going to be about writing a series.
Okay.
So tell us about your series and then give us the audience a teaser about your seminar and what you're going to be presenting there.
Okay. Well, my series right now is I call it's the UGL Universe United Gridiron League. It's a football league. Because I was like, we just got finished talking to a lawyer, so I could not use NFL
Okay.
without them sending me a cease and desist. So I had to come
Okay.
up with my own league. So it's the Dallas Lone Star Outlaws. It is an all black cast. That was very important to me. Because there are enough romance books, and especially sports romance books that have, an all white cast, or there's one black friend, and things like that. So yeah, I wanted to do something that was all us. I tell people that my characters' universe, their world is blackety black. Like everybody is black, even the side characters. Everybody is black. And so it's about a group of friends. And the series goes concurrent. Each one is in each other's books, so you don't lose touch with the characters. They're like in each other's books all the way through to the end. Um, and it's the women are professional women. They're smart. They're not damsels at all. They know what they want. They know how they want it. Um, and and the guys are not emotionally insecure. They're not perfect now. They're not perfect, but I just didn't want to do the trauma, trauma bonding, the the terrible sad backstories. Because not everybody has those backstories. Not that those backstories are bad or anything, but that's not all of it. That's not everything about us. So I wanted to make sure that I represented, you know, a fuller representation of brown folks, of black folks.
I get it. When we write, we sometimes there's like some don't go stuff or some things
Yeah.
that we prefer not to depict. And when I wrote my two novels, my main character and his wife
Mhm.
were on one accord. I didn't want to have a book about arguing and
Yeah.
going back and forth and competing with your spouse and
Mm.
falling out and all of that, or even a side chick. None of that. None of
Oh,
that.
you know.
Yeah. So he and his wife are like this. They're
Mm.
tight, and because I read so much of that, and I guess that's kind of what you're referring to. I read
Yeah.
so much of that, I didn't want to read that. One thing about historical fiction, which is my favorite genre that I read,
Mhm.
they you don't really have that in historical fiction. And I
Yeah.
guess because you're fighting against the society. In historical
Mhm.
fiction, you have to bond together because your life is being threatened, depending on which century it is, which
Yeah.
time period. But for Black historical fiction, um, the character development is good. The family dynamics tend to be solid.
Yeah.
It's the modern stuff that's messed up.
You know, one thing about Gwen, she gonna tell her how she sees
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because I wanted to like I represented the families that they come from different backgrounds, like Nick's, which is the third book. You know, he had some issues with his family, with his father, and things like that. So there's some issues that represent real life. I just didn't want to go dark, too
Right.
dark with it, because I feel like there's enough
Yeah, there's
of
enough
that.
darkness.
Yeah, enough of that represented. I didn't want to, I didn't want, it wasn't for me. Yeah, because I'm not trying to say anything's wrong with urban fiction, nothing's wrong with none of it. So don't send me no emails.
No,
Don't
no,
nobody say
no.
that to me. It's
I'm
not
I'm I'm on your side. If they send you an email, you send it to me because
okay.
everybody does not
Yes.
have to read urban fiction just to say
Right.
that they're a Black author.
Right.
Every Black author doesn't, or every Black writer or reader does not like urban fiction or
Right.
street fiction or what have you. And I will say that urban fiction is not just street fiction. It's
Right.
just normally how people kind of categorize it. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're all not the same. And
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of street lit, but it doesn't
Mhm.
mean that there's not room for it out there
Right.
because some people do love it. It's just not me. And it's
Yeah,
not
because I've read some, and they've been really good. So
Mhm.
I'm just saying that that's for me, my style is not writing it. So that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't want people to think I was dogging out
Yeah, no,
urban
I
Oh,
get
well,
it.
also called hood books, but not like you said, not everybody can even relate to that.
hmm
You know,
Yeah.
not everybody came from the projects or whatever.
hmm
We're not all alike. Now we do have a lot of common experiences, um,
Right.
historically and even contemporarily.
hmm
But we aren't all from the same environment.
Right.
So and there's not we're not putting a value on one or the other. We're
Right.
saying balance is good.
Right.
You know.
Yes. And then I do that with my spice levels. Um,
Okay.
I always tell people I hang around in spice level 4. I have not done 5. I don't think I could do.
Okay. What is
I've
well,
read
okay?
5.
I'm okay. I missed the memo on the spice level 4 and 5. So
Okay.
now what's the top level?
5.
5 is the top. Okay, I thought
Yes.
you were saying 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. So
Yeah.
you're saying
No.
No,
you're close
no,
No.
to the
the
top.
5 level is the kind that if you're listening to it on audio, you have to turn it down even
Yeah.
if nobody can hear it. You're like, oh, I don't want somebody to overhear this.
Yeah.
Or you might need to get one of those fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you
5
use
to me.
your
I tell people
fan.
5 is penthouse level. It's like that's yeah, I'm not 5. I've
Okay.
read 5, but yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm not. That's not my skill because the women that I've written, that's like wow. I don't think I would have visualized that. So yeah, so but I tell them I'm a solid 4. Um, I do like adding in the scenes, love scenes and stuff like that.
Where they're
But my
needed.
Right, right.
You write romance,
I don't
so
do gratuitous at all. Like it has to flow with the relationship, with the
mhm.
story, with what's going on, and because I'm a big person where intimacy is not always sex. It's
No, it
like
isn't.
intimacy can be just kissing, holding hands. It could be how they're looking at each other, how they're talking to each other. So
Mhm.
it's about knowing how to do that. Um, because you can almost give the same emotions with just a kiss if you know how to do it. And so
Mhm.
that's where I am though.
Mhm. Yeah, men don't always get that, but you know, some of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They equate the two, you know.
Yeah.
That's been my lifelong experience. But you can convey that you
Right.
want something different. But you know, we're, you know, men and women are different. This is, you know, we're more like
Yeah.
an oven, you know, a slow cooker, and they're more like a microwave.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna keep that.
You can use that. You have my
I'm
permission.
killing me tonight.
Yeah.
So, tell us about the seminar you're going to do, and at the festival is on Saturday,
Mhm.
and tell us what you're going to be doing in there, and then
Oh,
what do people need to bring with them? People who,
okay. They don't need to bring anything. I mean, just note taking. Um, it's called the series engine. And I've came up with it while I was writing my series. Um, and all the tools that I use to create an interconnected. It's about pretty much almost like world creating, somewhat for the most part. Being able to connect all of your characters, because like I have my UGL, I call it my UGL universe, which is the football players, but there are all the other teams that are attached to each one. It's kind of like a web. And so in the seminar, I'm going to be using Marvel as a perfect example for doing interconnected series and how to write it, how to do your characters, how to set up your characters. Because if you set it up in the beginning the right way, you can have a whole world full of stories, and they'll start to kind of write themselves, kind of generate themselves, because you'll think of another story while you're writing this one because you have them so interconnected. Because I've had people ask me, like, how did I keep all the characters connected like they were in the books? And I'm like, that's just how I wrote them in the starting and beginning. And it just goes through, other characters show up, and I'd be like, oh, I like him. I'm gonna put him in a book later, and I throw him to the side. So it's me teaching my process um, for people to use for writing book series and stuff like that. And I'm using Marvel because Marvel is an excellent example of it. Like when you look at their first movie all the way to the last one, and that it's like a single thread in there. I don't think people notice. So we're going to talk about that in the series, in the seminar.
I think Marvel is a great example. I've always said that I love Marvel characters because um, even the villains aren't
Right.
exactly true villains. They usually come from a different place that when you sit down and look at why they do
Yeah.
what they do, it almost makes sense. They really believe that they're doing what they're doing for the greater good. And
Yeah.
that makes them a bit complicated, which I absolutely love. It's not truly black and white.
Right, right. Because I don't do the cartoonish villains, the
Yeah.
with the
You,
I
I
don't
love you.
yeah, I don't believe in the cartoon villains. I believe the villains, just like my favorite Marvel villain is Ultron.
Mm,
Because if you think about Ultron, and Thanos, they were kind of right. Like when it came to how society is, and
right.
things like that,
They
and
say
so
Thanos
yeah,
was kind of right. Um,
yeah,
what's his name? Killmonger was kind of right.
yes, yep, he was real right.
Yeah. He might have been mean, but he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I like having villains that are more four-dimensional. Like they're more than just I'm angry about this. It's like they have a reason
Right.
behind why they're upset and what's going on, and their stakes and connecting. So that's going to be part of this series too, is writing good villains that don't come off, like cartoons, like yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
So, for your work with Black Odyssey,
Mhm.
did did you get a one book deal, two book deal? Are you going to be doing series with them, or?
Yeah, right now they have the first two books of the series,
Okay.
and then with the option of the ones after that, because the series I have with them is three or maybe four books, and so they're doing the first two. So, but I'm good, so I know they're gonna take the other ones.
Okay, then you better have some faith in your writing. That's what I'm
Well,
talking
yeah,
about.
have
Yes,
confidence. Confidence is good. Now they're not taking the ones you've already written.
No, no,
This
no.
is these are totally new stories.
Yeah, totally. They wanted exclusive stories,
Okay.
so yeah, this is
Mhm.
all of them. Yeah.
Well, if you could give the audience some advice on like writing romance,
Mm,
since that's your lane, and I hear different authors say different things about writing, but
mm.
if you could give someone who wants to write a romance some advice about how to go about how to get started, what's the starting point?
The starting point is sitting down and basically who is the story about? Who is the story about? And that lets you know where to begin. Like, whose story is this? Like, who's telling that? Who's the main character? What's the world around them? Um, and then outlining. Out to outlining. I know some people out there are pantsers, but even pantsers need to outline to some
exactly,
level.
Yeah.
exactly.
To some level, like even if it's just a rudimentary, plain 5 sections, you have to like, because I consider myself a quote unquote a pantser, but it's after I get the outline done. Like I have to have a thread to run on. Like I don't know, I have my outline and then I use that as my thread because more than likely I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm not gonna stay on that outline. I just know I'm not.
But the outline at least brings you back home.
Right.
You won't
Right.
go
It
too
gives
far off the beaten path.
exactly. It gives you a thread to hang on to, like you know where you're going in the story. Because I just can't sit and just write and not know where I'm going. It's chaos that way. And that's a good way for you to get writer's block also. If you don't know where you're going and what's gonna happen. Like what I do is I start off with just a plot outline where it's just the 5 or 6 plot points,
Mhm.
like in the inciting incident, the
The
um
arcs
the
of the story.
the BB the I'm about to say the BBL
Yeah.
the the big back moment the BBM okay.
But unfortunately, we only have a couple minutes left. I don't know why your interview went so doggone fast. But
That-
I do want to plug because you are going to be at my soror's bookstore on August 1st.
Yes, at Mahogany Books. Yes, this on
Yes.
this Saturday. Yes, I'll be there. I'm one of the authors for there, so I will be there. Whoever, if you're in DC, come to my table and find me. I'm there
I,
signing books
well,
and I got stuff.
I would be there, but Gwen and I are going to be in Atlanta. That's the only reason I
Oh,
didn't reach out to about being a part of this event. I was actually a
mhm.
part of the first Black Books Matter Fest a couple
Okay.
of years ago. So I'm really happy for you. This is a beautiful event. I know you're going to enjoy it, but now
Yeah.
something else is happening on the first. What else is happening on the first? I'm
Oh,
posting.
yeah. I'm
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 about to
doing
say, do
my
I have to tell you what you have going on?
it's because I was like, oh yeah. It's I'm doing my cover release for book 5. Releases on the first. And this
Oh,
one is book
okay.
5 of the series. It is my very first romance, male romance. And so I'm looking forward to people's reaction to that and looking forward to people getting to meet his name is Leo. But then if you read the series, you know who Leo is. So I'm looking forward to that. Like this one was my favorite of the series, so I think people are going to really like it.
Okay, because I didn't know you had a book 5
Hmm.
in this one. I was thinking the 4 was it, and
Yeah.
then you have your book with Black Odyssey. Do you
Mhm.
what time I mean what time of year or do you have a release date for your Black Odyssey book yet?
No, not yet. I'm just like it's like yeah. I'm thinking. I'm hoping sometime in the spring, maybe. Hopefully, I'm not sure yet. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, Vonda, congratulations on your
Thank you.
writing success.
Thank you.
And we look forward to meeting you in person at the
Yes,
National Black Book Festival.
me too. I look forward to meeting y'all and everybody too.
All right, we can't wait.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a
Take
great
care.
night
Bye bye.
and much success with your event this weekend.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
So Rhonda, our third guest hasn't logged on. And
Aloja,
hmm,
where is? Let me text
I
her
don't know.
because
And I was gonna text Shanitha.
no,
Uh,
I'm about to text Aloja.
oh, you know her. You have her
Yeah, that's
number.
my. She's been a part of my Black History Month literary weekend for a number of years.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you could because oh no, see that's the next login is for the last interview. So um but Elogia did not log in and Shanitha set it up to her
Oh,
publisher. So she set up the interview. So I didn't have her number.
okay. Well, I just texted her, but I'm about to call her too. You know how I do.
Yeah, you call them and I think that's great. I try to be like, discreet, but sometimes it's not, you can't have discretion because otherwise we have dead time and I don't like
Right.
doing that. So let me know if she responds or not.
Okay. Well, she
But
didn't answer the phone. Oh,
oh, okay.
hey, Aloja. Did you know you're supposed to be on Black Authors Matter TV? You didn't get the link? She said she didn't get the link.
I sent it to Shanitha. See, I don't have
Oh, she
her,
sent it to Shanitha.
I don't have her
Okay. Okay.
her email.
Your interview's starting now. We're like on the air, so I'm gonna send it to you right now. All right. Okay. Bye bye.
So you have the link.
Um, no.
Well, the one you
Well,
log into would be it, unless,
oh yeah, I'll just send her that one now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um,
Otherwise,
for
I,
those of you who are new to
yeah,
Black Authors Matter TV, this is what we have to do sometimes.
yeah. It's very occasional,
Yeah.
but this show is live. So when it's live, anything can happen. Now, generally, everything moves like clockwork, but occasionally we have someone who doesn't log on or they log on late. So, but people ask us, do we tape our shows? No, we don't. It's live and it's fluid because uh, it's not taped, it's not edited. It's whatever happens, however somebody feels when they're on the show, and it's the charm of the show. It's live, and because it's live, we have interaction with you, the audience. So if you have questions, we can ask them of the guests because it's live. And if it wasn't live, we couldn't do that. So let
Sylvia
me
said,
know.
you see what Sylvia said?
No.
She
Oh,
said, I love how Gwen has grown in her tech skills.
what did you mean by that?
I don't know. You have grown though.
Oh, well, I believe that we have to keep learning.
This is
So, I believe in always learning, and I plan on doing that for the duration of my life, being able to learn new things. I think once you stop learning new things, you kind of stop betting
stop
on the
growing.
future. You're not really betting on the future. You're not betting on being part of the future. So I intend to be part of the future. And since Sylvia is my daughter's name, when you said that, I have to think, I have to take a beat. It's not my daughter Sylvia Hubbard. But I tell Sylvia that whenever I talk to her, that she shares my daughter's name. So what happened with Elogia? Did she have the link?
She said she was logging in. I sent her the link. Let me see.
But I did send it to Shanitha. sometimes she likes to coordinate everything with her
Right.
writers. Um, but see, I personally prefer to go directly to whoever it is, because then I know that they received it.
Yeah. Well, just so y'all know, Elogia is she's kind of she's a nonfiction author.
Hmm.
And she writes a bit about Black history, but she also writes about autism. And I believe she's going to be talking about her autism book tonight.
Yeah, I think that's her latest book.
Yes.
And so I wanted to hear about her personal connection to it. If she's writing for like a clinician or an educator, or is she does she have a child that has autism or a family member
She
that's
has a
autistic?
child who has autism.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you answered it for me before she comes on.
Mhm.
But anyway, Sylvia, my tech skills are fine. I can't know everything. I'm so skilled in so many things.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I can't have all the skills in everything. And I don't
She has
try.
she has to share with the rest of the world.
Yeah. I don't try to know everything. That's what I have people for. I have my
Oh,
stepson. He does a lot of the tech, and he's the media manager for the show. He does all the back end. He manages the YouTube. You know, I couldn't do it. He does all of our podcasts with Buzzsprout. He does a lot. So um, I know that frees my mind to be more uh develop developmental, more administrative, more in the management mode. So,
right. That's true
you know,
because sometimes
okay.
a CEO doesn't get to be CEO all the time because you're too busy being the worker bee too.
It's true. So I try to now I do agree that when you were talking about earlier, when you hire people, you do have to pay them. And
Yeah.
but you have to put that in your budget. You have to make that part of your business. If you want to grow at all, you're gonna have to get
Mhm.
help. So anyway, that's my 2 cents about that. And so we have Elogia Hadley, and we're glad to have her as a guest on Black Authors Matter TV. As soon as we see the sketch of her,
There she
but
is.
now we have her, the actual person. And I want you to unmute so we can hear your voice. And
Hey y'all, hello.
hey, welcome
Hey
to Black
girl.
Authors
Happy
Matter TV.
Hey
Tuesday.
girl.
Hey, the doctor.
I'm not a doctor, so I tell people that. Rhonda's the
You're a literary doctor.
doctor. I'm Gwen, and I'm the entrepreneur. That's what I'm, a
The
lifelong entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
Lifelong.
Okay.
So, but anyway, welcome to the show. And I knew I had recognized your name when Shanita told me about you being on the show. And
hmm
I checked all of my, history, and I said, well, she hasn't been a guest before, but I knew the name because your name is unusual. It's not a name
Yes.
that, I've never seen an Elogia. I've never seen your name. Now, where did your name come
Mm-mm.
from? Where did your first name come from?
My name is Swahili. My mom, I tell people all the time I'm a true child of the 70s, most definitely. Um, she was a dancer. She was an entrepreneur. Her dance instructor helped to name me. He was Nigerian. So they said and pieced my name together. It's little pieces of like like Elohim,
Uh-huh.
that's
Okay.
God's grace, so my name means life. It means birth. So yeah, I'm a true child of the 70s. I could have been named Sunshine or Sunbeam, you know. You know how you know how it was back then, okay? You know.
Well, I haven't met a sunbeam yet. And I think if I did, I don't think it would be a Black person. But
Yeah, you true. It's true.
Because some beings, somebody would have said, girl, you need to his name.
You never know. Now that we talking about it, somebody gonna pop up. Somebody gonna pop up and say that's their name. Watch. I wouldn't be surprised.
And that one yet, but that doesn't mean they're not out there.
I don't talk about anybody. My daughter's name is Beautiful. So I don't talk about
it. Sure is.
And it took me a while to figure out that was Rhonda's daughter's name, because she would say she's beautiful. And I said, yeah, she is. So, I thought she was saying, I don't know if I told you that before. It took me a minute to understand that was actually her name.
Right.
I thought you were just saying she was beautiful.
Yeah, some people think she's being stuck on herself, and she says,
yeah, when you tell me I'm beautiful. Okay.
Well, she is beautiful, and she can. She wants to be stuck on herself. She wants to. Self-love is the best love. Till I said it.
Right.
I'm telling you.
So, tell us about. Rhonda said you write nonfiction, and so tell us about your nonfiction work, and then we'll lead up to your newest book.
So most of my nonfiction work, the first one was Who Are We? Who Are We is a book. I did 8 years of research to find out who we were prior to slavery. So that's what started that one. It's a collage of Black history, of warrior kings, Black cowboys, Black cowgirls, Black towns. The second one was Amazing. This is my superpower. I am a mom of a young man experiencing autism. He's 24 now. When I wrote the book, he was maybe 13. He was actually diagnosed when he was 13. He was a late diagnosis. And I'm trying to help other parents and other caregivers who have someone on the spectrum or neurodiverse to because I did research on that too. And I have my own opinions about what it is and where it comes from. The third one is Who Is She? That is the other part of Who Are We? I separated that book just for women. They're historical women. When I did the research for the Black History book, I found so much stuff about women. I gave women their own book. And that's when I met Rhonda, around the time I did that book. Because Shanitha and She Publishing published that one for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was my dedication to Black women. The amount of warrior queens, I put the Amazon warriors in there before the movie came out. I had already found them, and it's so many more. So and the rest of my books are pretty much the same. Be an autism advocate, be a historian. I tried to tiptoe a little bit over to fiction, just for the test of it. The test of it. I was I got a friend of mine who has a store, and she sells my books. So I took all of my books over there, but one is so the cover. I wanted to show you the cover because that was the very first cover I got. That's a fiction book. And I did a journal for the people who are experiencing autism. I changed my son's diet, because diet and gut health has a lot to do with, it's everybody who has some sort of thing going on with their head, normally has something going on with their stomach. It's a gut brain.
I never thought about that
connection. Yeah. They said your stomach is your second brain. So whatever you're eating, goes through your system, and whatever's happened, So when I put two and two together, I did the juices, fresh juices, smoothies. I mean, I got my hand in everything. I don't sleep. I don't.
Oh, so I can call you at about 2 o'clock in the morning. You still gonna be up?
I'll probably be up. I kid you not.
Well, that's good, because Gwen knows I'm always up. She's like, when does Rhonda sleep?
I'm up too. I'm not.
maybe it's a
I
writer's
don't get up
thing.
early. I'm a night person.
Me
So
too.
I don't get up super early. And I've been like that my whole life. My mother said I was like that as a baby. So to me, nighttime is quiet time. That's when I do a lot of work.
Yes.
It's quiet. Now, some people take the morning quiet, like they get up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whatever. And that's their quiet time in the morning. But if I'm up at 4 o'clock, is to use the bathroom, or now I could stay up till 4. I can do that. I don't prefer to do that. 2 o'clock is about when I go to sleep. But getting up early is just difficult. It's challenging,
Yeah.
And when I do it, I sing at church, and when we sing on Sunday, we have to be at church at 7:20 because there are 2 services, 8 o'clock, and we sing at 11. That's a real sacrifice for me because I have to get up at 6, and that's the only
yeah
at 6. The only.
That's right. Me too. When I'm forced to, but I'm absolutely forced to.
Yeah,
if I have to get it right
on Thursday at 7 something. That means I have to be at the airport at least by 5:30, and so I can't sleep because I'm scared I'll oversleep. So I don't get hardly any sleep. When I have to get up early like that, I don't get a good night's sleep because I'm scared. I don't really get sleepy. Your body.
I'm like that.
Well, I'm not going to go to sleep the night before I leave because I'm going to still be packing because the sister has not put one stitch of clothes in the suitcase. I haven't really unpacked from when I came back from Indianapolis. So
that's right.
Well, if you still have clean clothes, that can be your start. If you still have clean clothes in there.
Keep the clean was in there. Keep the clean was in there.
Speaking of that, I missed you, Elogeia. I thought I was going to see you in Indianapolis.
No, not this time. I got so much stuff going on here in Illinois.
I get it.
So much. Yeah, it was so much stuff. By the time she sent me that email, I had already put my hand in so many other things. And I don't like to get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed. I can't think straight.
Well, I'm gonna be in Chicago in September. So hopefully you're.
Oh, really? Yeah. Let us know. Yeah, let us know.
I got to see my people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Chicago girl.
Cold weather. When did you say you were going?
When am I going to Chicago? Oh, in September. It's not going to be cold yet.
No, it's not going to be cold yet. I mean, the weather's weird. The weather's really weird.
But no, y'all can have y'all city in the wintertime. I
know. I'm telling you, these last couple of winters have been for the record books. Like, it's just getting worse. And we had a really bad storm yesterday, and we had a tornado warning. We had to go shelter in place at work. Go stand in the stairwell. This is new. This stuff is new. We're having like tropical storms that we've never seen before.
Oh no!
It's just and then after that, it get hot, like hot, like
that sounds like here. It sounds like
exactly like it would be one big huge storm.
We'll have a big storm, and then it's hot. It's
hot. I'm like. And then the sun came out. We was like, what is going on? I said it looked like Stranger Things. The show Stranger Things.
Seasons of that.
It's crazy.
But I didn't keep going. I would rather binge a show after all the seasons are up.
Yeah.
Or then you can just.
Because I hate waiting until the next season. Then you have to kind of refresh your memory about what happened.
See, that's what happens when you watch a Tyler Perry series, because he'll put out 6 episodes for 6 weeks, and then he'll go on a season break, and then you have to wait almost a year for the rest of the season. And then he'll go on like a 2-year break.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, Tyler, I love you and I support you. You're my dude. You're from New Orleans and everything. But you got to do better with these.
You have, he going everywhere. By that time, you've been and forgot about it. There was one
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm saying. That's why it's
You know,
easier to
forgot
just
about it.
binge it. If it's 5 seasons, then let me watch it. Let me binge it 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do Tyler
I
Perry
can't do.
TV. I haven't watched not one of his shows.
Yeah, his plays
His,
used to be so much better
yeah,
to
his
me.
plays I
I
love.
loved his plays when he
We
first
used to go
started.
when I used to go live. We used to go live, and he would spend a lot on the set. He would have elaborate sets
That's
that
true.
turned, and he really invested in his stage play work.
Yeah.
I know I have like there are some of his movies I like. You know, some of
Yeah.
them, the Medea movies. I watched them up to a point. Then I kind of got, okay,
That's enough. I know, me too. Everybody's saying that. Everybody's like, okay, I'm really waiting for him to find somebody to play him.
After she went into witness protection, I think that was the last one I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Or did I see the Halloween one? I think I saw it. It was so crazy. So I didn't. So I stopped with that. I know I like. Why Did I Get Married?
Mm-hmm.
I really like the last one.
Yeah, I like all of those.
Daddy's Little Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Seen them multiple times. So but anyway, let's get back to you and autism, because I do want to hear. It seems like it's an explosion.
Yeah, it is.
In autism. It just like came up in the last 20 years or so. All of a sudden, it's like out of nowhere. And I don't know what the statistic is now in terms of one out of how many have autism. You probably do, but I don't know the number. But I don't know if in the past it was diagnosed. Maybe it went undiagnosed. But I don't even remember growing up with anybody that exhibited autistic characteristics.
No. It's me either. I can count on my hand how many. I can count on my hand how many kids that was in class with me that they would have considered autistic. Because remember, they used to separate them from the other kids in the class.
Yeah.
They used to call them
low.
What you call it? DL classes. What you call them? They called them here in Illinois something. Yeah, they had them learning disability LD classes. That's what they used to call them. But those kids were just kids who they need a little extra help or something like that.
Right.
So
they were just behind.
They just they just couldn't sit still good enough, but they didn't call it ADHD. They called it I'm calling your mama. I'm calling your mama. You gonna sit down.
You're right.
You gonna sit down.
Everybody sat down. But I don't know. I know that kids started getting a lot more sugar and caffeine and things like that.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. I think that some kids were being misdiagnosed with ADHD and they were pushing drugs on them. And they really didn't need drugs. Maybe they were autistic, or maybe they just needed to be challenged in a different way. Because sometimes if a class is boring or they're not being challenged, or they're not being paid attention to, they may act out in certain ways. But instead of trying to find out what's really going on with the child, or maybe they can't, maybe they're not a strong reader. It doesn't mean that they have ADHD. But they don't find out what's really going on with the child, and they just want to force these drugs on them. And so I was always against that. Let's find out what's going on with the person.
Me too.
Yeah, they don't want to have the time to. You're right, Rhonda. They don't want to have the time to look, to give kids that extra time no more, because the classrooms are so big. So that's the truth. I think that's the truth of that too.
Yeah, but too much sugar in your diet and too much caffeine at a young age, because we didn't have a lot of sugar. We ate at home
most of the time, 99.9.
And we didn't have a lot of sugar, and we didn't have any caffeine at all. Because Mountain Dew has a lot of caffeine, but we didn't drink Cokes and things like that. When we were kids, we might drink orange soda, like
it's Kool-Aid
Crush or something like that. Or Kool-Aid.
That's where the sugar came in.
That's what we put that much sugar in the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, but we didn't drink it every day. It was more like
we wasn't allowed to drink that every day.
So
and they had the high fructose corn syrup too. Is like a real big thing. The
Yeah.
Well,
fructose corn syrup
this
is
is
real
why I
bad.
like to make my own juices now. I just buy the apples and I'll make my own apple cider. I'll
Mm-hmm.
buy the hibiscus leaves and I'll make my own tea. Yeah,
Mm.
I do all of that. I try not to buy the juices, the regular juices in the store, unless I
Mm-hmm.
want a mimosa or something. But even then, I
Mm-hmm.
might I might have to just fresh squeeze it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd rather make my own juices now. It's just and like even when I make my smoothies and when I juice, which I usually like to do on Sundays, I don't add sugar to it. I don't even add honey
You
to
don't
it.
have to. It's like the
Right.
natural sweeteners are already in it. But I did
Hmm.
that for my son and I changed them. And the statistics when I did the his first book was 1 in 36. 1 out of 36 kids they say would exhibit some sort of autism. When I was young, it was 1 in 200. 1 in 200. And when my mom was probably born, it was like in the thousands.
Right.
So it
Mm.
is, and then
Mhm.
there's a doctor that I follow. She's not really on social media, but she's an MIT doctor. She's been telling them for the last 40 years what the problem is. But they're ignoring her because that means they have to deal with some giants. You know,
Right.
they got to deal right. They got to deal with some chemical companies. They got to deal with, and that's it right there. Because if I'm not mistaken, Coca-Cola in most places are owned by certain chemical companies. But she told them that the problem is the toxins. Like we don't have the same toxins. The meat is different that we eat,
Right.
that our kids eat now. We had real sugar. They have high fructose corn syrup. And what's the other one? Aspartame.
Yeah,
Right.
They
aspartame.
Right.
yeah, they have
Yeah.
all of that, and none of that grow on trees. None of
No.
that grows from the ground.
Yeah.
Now, sugar at least come from the sugar cane. You have a choice of brown sugar. You have all these other cane sugar.
Hmm.
No, but our kids can't handle these toxins.
No.
It's just too much. That's why when people say the argument I had once with somebody was my baby was born like this. Yeah, because you're eating toxins. They're swimming in toxins. I don't know what you're eating. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're eating. And just like I have an allergy to certain things, we all have different allergies. And some kids just react different. And she told them, her name is Dr. Stephanie Seneff, MIT.
Okay.
And you can, when you look at her, she got the whole hippie look. You know what I mean? Like, back with the long hair, with the
Long,
flip
long
flops.
lips, long lip
Sheesh.
hair.
Hmm. I said, yeah, she know what she talking about. As soon as I
Yeah,
saw,
those
I
MIT types, they generally are not fashion
no, they
nieces.
not.
Let me put that. They
I
This has
said,
focus on
been
the
this has been
business.
such an enjoyable conversation, but we got 2 minutes left in your interview. Did we even see the cover of your book yet?
I
Yeah,
don't. You know what? I don't have all the covers to my books. My friend has them all at her store.
Oh,
I have an
you have
agreement
a,
with someone at our mall, and she has a whole display of my books.
do you
And
have
then
the
I just
autism
did.
one?
I have one of the autism ones. This is my first one. That's the first one.
Okay, amazing. It's
This
my
one is from 0 to 18.
okay.
This
So
one talk a lot about Stephanie Seneff in there too. If you guys know anybody who wants to talk about this, Dr. Rhonda, no, I can talk about this all day. I
mm-hmm.
can talk about this all history. Look, I'm your girl. Send them my way. I could talk about, but I'm having an autism event on November 1st. It's a mind, body, spirit event. I have a collective of people teaching them how to meditate, how to get. It's a
Nice.
caregivers event. If you ever care for anybody, because I just want people to know they're not by themselves. Because before my son, I cared for my mom who had cancer. So
Mm.
I went from one extreme to the other, and I had totally forgot about me. So, and then I have another literary thing, the Lit Fest in October 3rd, but that's for like house music lovers if you like house music and stuff like that. So, but a lot of the proceeds is going to go to literary stuff. But I'm still writing. I changed my name, Dr. Rhonda, from Inspired Publishing LLC to Inspired Media Group.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they looking for me, they can put in Inspire Media Group into Google, or they can just put my name, my first and last name, and it'll come up. Because I do so much stuff. Like I host events. I teach a little bit. I'm trying to get into a little spoken word. I'm gonna try a little bit just to see. And I might sing a little bit, Gwen.
Oh, okay.
I ain't got that brave yet.
Okay. Are you a soprano, or alto, or a
Alto. I'm almost definitely alto.
Okay, I'm a
Had
soprano.
me all excited like you were about to sing.
Yeah.
That's how y'all look on your face. I'm gonna get there one day, Rhonda, and then I'm gonna belt it out for you. I'm gonna get there.
Well,
Yeah.
it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
It's great meeting you. My first time meeting you.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to meet when I was at the event because it was so busy, but yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I always enjoy myself with Dr. Rhonda. I always do. Always do. And I thank you guys so much. I'm so sorry I was late. I was so sorry. I had totally did not get the link and forgot to remind her, but I'm happy I made it.
Well, I'm glad
you
Rhonda
made it
had your
too.
number because I didn't. So we would have just been me and Rhonda just talking for 30 minutes, which we've done not often, but we can talk. There's lots to talk about that's going on in the world, the literary world, just in general. Rhonda is the AI expert, and she will admonish me. No, AI is not bad. I'm not saying AI is bad. I'm saying the people are misusing it.
Yeah, that's all I think is people misuse it.
Well, it's not going nowhere because we already got our towers out.
Not. Definitely not.
Our towers are already up.
We have to decide how we want to use it. You know, but it is with us. So anyway, Elogeia, thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for
having me. You too. Love y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I know. I do learn more and more about AI, but half of what I learn is bad, and then the other half I have to sift through to decide.
Yeah, you have to do your own research and determine how you want to use it. I love using AI, but I don't use it to, of course, write my books. I'm not using it to steal anybody's art. I mostly use it for business processes. Like I used AI to delete over 100,000 emails last night. My boss is ridiculous.
Well, you said you did. I try to clean mine up as I go.
No, but I can't do
that. Some stuff, like if it's from a particular person or whoever, I get them every day and I don't read them all the time, or I've already read them, but they're sitting in my inbox. And it might, if I get it every day and it's 3 years worth, that's a lot. That's 1,000 emails right there. So I delete them like that. But I'm not. I don't have 100,000. I got 50 something thousand. So I need to wean them down. Anyway, Sylvia Hubbard is our final guest tonight, and she's been writing for many years, and she's been on the show once. But I think
Sylvia's gonna have you laughing too, because she a fool.
I think it was on like 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. It's been a while. And she shares the first name of my daughter. So that's all. Whenever I meet a Sylvia, they automatically are all right with me. So anyway, Sylvia Hubbard, welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. And I got my books this time, Dr. Rhonda, because I was like, I got to have my book. So I got my books.
Thank you.
So how many books have you published so far, Sylvia? I know it's
60. It is 65. I counted it yesterday, and yes, it is 65.
That's crazy.
Wow.
65 books since when, though? Because I know you've been in the game for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been since 2000, and by the end of this year, I should be at 69. So, I like that number.
Sylvia.
Oh, you started in 2000. Okay. That's y'all are
Yeah,
messy. Y'all are messy. I try to ignore it. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to ignore it.
I'll
I
be
do
good.
know what
I'll
it
be good. I
means,
promise.
but I'm trying to ignore it. So, what was your first book?
So my first book was Dreams of Reality, and I pretty much wrote that because it was going through the Y2K, and I thought we were all gonna die. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and write what I greatly feared about. And it was like when you would go to your doctor and he would tell you, oh, it's just side effects. And then it really wasn't side effects, it turned into something else. And I decided to write a book regarding that, where she's a part of an illegal drug experiment. Of course, I blew it out of proportion. And it's implemented by her doctor, and the dreams that she's having are actually real. So it was a wonderful book, but it was a learning lesson about being an author. And I had to learn about marketing first before I really learned about publishing, because that's when the fast print on demand came out, like it burst out on the scene.
Mhm.
So I had sent my book in, and that's when you could do it for free. And 2 weeks later I was an author. So I had to really learn about jumping into the pool of marketing, and I realized it's 10% to write the book, 10% to publish the book, but it's
Mhm.
80% to market the book.
If
Mhm.
you want any book sales,
Right.
you
If you want to,
gotta,
yeah, you
unless
got to do it mind, body, and soul. And that was the time when, like, a lot of people didn't even know about ebooks. And the only reason I got into ebooks was because I was a single mom, and they were like, you got to feed them. And I couldn't pay for my books and feed my kids. So I had to come up with a way to sell these books. And that's when I found out about ebooks
okay.
and marketing and so forth. So I really learned how to jump in the pool of getting my message out, doing the calls to actions, finding ways for people to come to my website and doing that. And it created a learning experience where authors were always, during that time, everybody was going to events, everybody was
Yeah.
offline, going to events, doing book
Yes.
signings. I could not afford that,
Bookstores, book tours.
Right.
and it made it so difficult. But I learned how to market online before it was even popular, and I am just so glad and blessed I had to go through that storm in order to get my rainbow now, because now I am able to market online. I'm ahead of the game, and I can stay on top of things and be present online, and even though I can go offline now, I got the money and I got all the kids out the house. I don't got to feed them no more.
You had to slide that part in, right?
Girl.
It's like your kids are still, it's kind of funny when you have adult kids. They're still on your pocketbook
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh
until
yeah.
you can find. I finally got my daughter, and she's married, but the stuff like the automatic payments and stuff like that are still coming out of your account.
Yeah. I've been trying to
Even
kick
though
my
they're
daughter. I've
replacing
been
it.
trying to kick my daughter off of my phone account for the last year, and she sent a message out to everybody that I'm trying to kick her out the family. And I'm like, you can't be 30 years old on your mama phone bill. She pays it, but it's like, come on.
Only reason my daughter got off of ours is she wanted when I think it was when the Apple the 10 came out. So
Oh yeah,
it was some years back.
and it's expensive.
And yeah, and she wanted to do it her way with the 10.
Yeah.
So she said, well, I'll just get my own account. I'm like, thank
Okay.
God.
Promise me a good time. Promise me a good
So,
time, please.
yeah, so I mean, they do stay in your pocket. I wasn't. Well, we were. The expectations were different
Yeah.
for us.
And I'm blessed that my kids have been up with me throughout my whole indie author journey. They understand the importance of me writing the piece I get And I mean, they've always been supportive of all my literary events and things like that. So I'm blessed to have children who've been in my life and seen like me become an entrepreneur, and it makes them become entrepreneurs now. So I'm so proud of them that, they've discovered, hey, you can work a job and build your business at the same time, which is what I was doing, all while being head of the household, a single mom, just being a woman of the world, and just, trying to run a literary organization all at the
Right.
same time. And I'm glad I took them
Mm.
on that journey with me so they can reap the benefits of everything that, came to me. So they are a blessing and a curse, but choose your battle what day it is. So
Yeah, we have to help them, but it can be costly sometimes. Anyway, I wanted to harken back to something you said right in the beginning.
mhm,
The people who watch the show that may be a little younger may
mhm.
not realize about Y2K and how big a
Oh yeah.
deal it was. Because my husband is tech and his best friend is tech. And we started the website in December of 98. We started cushcity.com. So when the Y2K,
Um,
that whole scare, everybody was scared about when, at the stroke of midnight, their computers were gonna turn
Yeah,
off,
I remember that.
web was gonna crash, and
We thought it was gonna be the Left Behind
or
book
and then
series.
the people gonna go gathered up in the air in a cloud, and we just start then midnight comes and goes, and absolutely nothing happens. And so, but people were making money on that whole Y2K scare.
mhm.
They had to
It was a pretty big deal, but it pushed me in the direction I needed to go in my life. And sometimes, maybe you do need that sphere in order to move. You're either gonna sit there and get hit, or you're gonna get up and move. And I know in all times in fear in all my life, I've just got up and moved and went forward instead of sitting there waiting in every event. And I'm blessed to, I guess, the kids have always been like that kind of push for me to keep going,
Right.
because I have purpose in showing them that it can be done. I never want them to say I can't do it, because if I can do it, you can do it, and it's going to get done. So that's how I've always been. So with that event, and then with other events that happened, you just kept going. So one book led to another book. And I did drop off, kind of like in 2004. I was getting kind of dissuaded because I couldn't afford my books. I literally was not able to go to any of the events and everything. And I would see my friends going off to New York and Texas and DC and California and just flying everywhere for all the events. And I was getting really disappointed in myself.
Mhm.
And I stopped. I actually didn't want to publish another book, but I just needed an extra $100 every third week. That's all I was at. I was just, if I had that extra $100 on that third week before that first month paycheck, I would be okay, and I was complaining to my mom, and she was like, well, why don't you just write another book? When you need that extra money, just write another book so you can have that extra money. She said, if it's just $100, then sell $120, pay the taxes, and be okay.
There you
And
go.
so, you got to listen to your parent, and even if you grown. And I did, and I'm glad I did, because it was so funny. That's the Create Space had started to move over to Amazon, and
okay.
we started, Jeff Bezos became our new baby daddy for our kids. And
He
I
used
would
to
get
pay every 30 days, and then the baby daddy made it 60 days for absolutely no reason. So anyway,
But I would get that check on the third Friday. That check would drop on the third Friday of every month. And I just started coming out with more and more books. I realized the more books I came out with, the more money I made, and it just
Well,
escalated
I
where
think
it
I
brought me so
like
much
how
joy.
you're looking, but see, you looked at it totally different. You wrote the book just so you can make an extra $100. So that was your goal. I need to sell this many books in order to make $100 a week.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's a goal that we all should have, especially as independent authors.
Yeah, you
You
should. You
kind
should
of
have
control
monetary.
that money, especially if you're selling the books from your website.
Right. Yeah, you should be always thinking of a goal. Every month you should have a monetary goal of what you want to make in order to, supplement yourself, your business, everything. You should be writing down goals. And I think authors have gotten away from that, planning their literary life. They're still thinking of it like a hobby or a side gig or
Right,
something.
right.
But at this point, I need gas money and a minimum of 500 maybe is going to do. So you should be out there. You should be bustling. You should be making those attempts to make money with your book, with your voice, and with your actions.
I'm never gonna forget when I was still in the army. I had to pay for something. I was getting ready to move, and the army gonna find something that you had to pay for,
Of
and
course.
so they told me I needed. I think I had to pay $100 or something like that, whatever that number was. And I was like, where am I gonna get this money from? And then I thought about it. I had a stack of books in the car. So I went out and sold those 5 books and I made the money that I needed to pay whatever that little bill was
Mhm.
in one day. And
And that that was
I
kind of
think
like what
sometimes
happened
you
to
have
me
to,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
that
you have to
happened to
sell
me.
on survival, not desperation mode, but
Yeah.
survival mode.
We had become homeless in 2013, and I had been like selling books, stacking the money, selling books, and blah, blah, so forth and so on. And we got a chance to get a home from Habitat, and we needed a down payment. And I turned around and I was like, "Hey, I had forgotten I had been saving the money, just stacking it, as I'm selling the books and seeing this amount of money, like tremendous amount of money and sales coming in." And then I was like, oh my God, I have the money. I have the money to get a house. And we had been homeless for a year and a half, and getting that opportunity to turn around and use the money that I made from my creative talents to
Wow.
buy a house. It's tremendous to me and to anyone, to know that your talent bought your house is just mind
That's,
blowing to
I,
this
I was
day
about to
to
say that
me.
that's an amazing thought that we are where we are because of something that I created.
Right. Yeah, and that's just amazing. And even when I'm here in the house, I'm like, oh my God, I did this because of my talents and my determined drive to get $100 a week. But
Hey,
it's just it's a
those little
blessing.
amounts add up, and
Yeah.
people sometimes will turn their nose up at those small amounts. But if you build them, like you said, it adds up.
Yeah. And keep
The
going.
key
Keep
is
keep
don't just
writing.
spend every nickel you get. You
Yeah.
always need to be putting something aside, and
Putting
that's
something aside and planning.
and
Putting
planning.
aside and planning. Yes, definitely. And that has what built the business is the back catalog, the current catalog, and that I just keep going, and a lot of young authors do ask me, how do you keep going? It's so bad out here. It's so awful. And I'd be like, but in my world, it is beautiful. I
So
just
what do they say is awful? Do they
well,
do
the
they tell you?
stress of just readers, the stress of reviews, the stress of just trying to do the marketing, the stress of just trying to, with the price changes. And it's just a lot of things, technical wise, paying for things, finding out you got scammed. Just, it's a
Yeah.
lot of stress out there for authors now. And I can understand it is. Like you said, I've been in the business for a long time, and sometimes I just sit on my porch and be like, "Ooh, I ain't jumping on that bandwagon." That sounds like
Yeah,
2005 all over again. Because
yeah.
you can't just jump.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, the rule of thumb is old wisdom is always wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is. And beware of strangers bearing gifts.
Right. But
Yes.
And that
just
means
like
somebody approach you and they
mhm.
say, we want to make you, I get calls and emails. We saw your book and we want to put you on this and that. And we want to make you famous or whatever. And I'm like, well, why would you pick me to do that for, first of all?
Right.
And
Right.
so, I mean, you don't even know me. So,
But just like Dr. Rhonda said, it's the literacy. We do have to read between the lines. We have to get in there and do the research on what it takes to be out there and get readers to buy our books. It takes a lot of research and a lot of reading to do that. And a lot of authors aren't willing to do that. You do have to read the books. You have to go to the YouTube videos and research the materials that they're putting out there. You really have to just really depend on your own literacy levels to get out there and make things happen for yourself. Because if you aren't reading either the books that you are writing and
Right.
other books as well, plus the resource books, you are not going to get the education and you're not going to move forward. And so we depend on other people to come in and say, oh, I can do this for you. But what do you know what they're really doing if you haven't read it or done it yourself? How do you know you're getting your ROI, your return on investment, if you haven't read about what really goes into what to do when you do this? When you post that social media post, what are you supposed to do, or what are you paying this person to do? Are they just posting, or are they putting good keywords in, using long tail keywords,
Right.
using the right kind of thing to describe and get the tropes in there to make sure readers not only see the post, but then come back to your website, not just to follow you, but come to your website and make a purchase from you. And if you're not reading it, then of course you are not gonna understand what really goes into all of that. And that's why readers, I think that's why authors are stressed, is because we're letting AI get in the way of our own literacy to get ahead in the world. We're
Yes.
thinking, oh, I'm going to just do AI and I'm going to be so rich. It's going to bring me so many views. But if you are not really studying and understanding and comprehending what it takes to do those things, you are not going to get where you need to be.
Amen.
Yeah, you can't just throw out the basics, And
Right.
doing an author event for 19 years, one thing I have learned is I won't put a percentage on it, but many, many, many authors don't read.
And
we send them information with everything they need for the event. They don't read it.
And they'll still call you.
they'll add, or they'll say, I sent you that. And it really pisses me off. And what if they ask me something I've already sent them 3 times? In 3 different, the same thing. I say it's in the email. I'm not gonna explain to you what I spent time meticulously outlining bullet points, making sure it was concise.
And those emails are not fun to put together.
No,
right.
and they're not super long.
Right.
But you have to read them. And then if you don't read them, then you miss out on a lot of the opportunities that you could have had. But you didn't read it. So that's not on me. But authors don't read. I won't say half, but it's a big percentage. They don't read.
That
and
is
so, what you're saying is true. Now, tell us about, we don't have that much time left. So tell us about your new book. It's part 2 in a, I guess it's a 2-part series.
It's actually,
you have to read book 1. That's what it says.
No, you actually don't. So how it's set up is that it's called the Windfall series, and the book 2 actually comes out August 1st on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
You can actually click in on Amazon and start reading the excerpt for it, but you don't have to read book 1 in order to understand book 2, and that is because this is a found family. So book 1 is called Delilah's Desire, and it's all about the oldest brother, Dag, and then his youngest brother is Derek, who is in Desire's Tryst which actually comes out on August the 2nd. So you can jump in the dag because you're going to meet him in Desire's Tryst, but it's all about just, you're going to understand Derek's story in this one. So yes, it's,
Okay, now
I know
so what about her substitute husband?
Okay, so Her Substitute Husband, that is my paperback release because I always come out with at least 5 books a year. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
5 books a
5 books
year,
a year.
huh? That's a lot of
So,
writing, woman.
That is a lot of writing.
so and Her Substitute Husband, that is my paperback release for the year. So I usually come out with 2 paperback releases, 1 Kindle Unlimited release, and then 2 short stories.
Okay. All right.
So, right. So in Her Substitute Husband, his brothers, and I got the books.
Okay.
I got the books. So it is a book. It is part 1 and part 2. So
Oh,
you
they're
do
pretty
have to
thick,
read
too.
these in order.
Oh,
So,
okay. That's what okay.
yeah, you
So
do have
that's
to read these in order. And if you order from me directly or you see me at an event and you get these books, you also get a reader packet with it. So it's like a $5 reader packet you'll get, like with bookmarks, buttons, little trinkets and everything. So you'll get reader treats to go along with that if you order directly from me, and a signed copy. But yes, you do have to read these in order. So this one is about of course, the same thing. It's a false marriage. It's a fake marriage to her childhood crush. And then since it's a fake marriage, his brothers move in on her as well. So that's why it's called Her Substitute Husband, His Brothers, because they all enjoy each other. And it's no swords crossing. So I have to say that. No swords crossing because I'm selfish.
Okay. So what genre? What? I'm sure you write in more than one.
So
But
I write
what's
dark romance, suspense. That means in all the books, people fall in love and I kill people. So
Okay.
so it's not one or the other. Some people will say, okay, which are your suspense books? Which are your romance books? Everything always happens inside of the book.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm romance and suspense. Yes.
Now Tony Benita said your books are powerful reads.
Oh, thank
And
you.
everybody knows Tony Benita.
She is awesome.
World. If you're an author and you don't know Tony Benita, you need to get to know Tony Benita.
Yes.
So, because
read her book, go see her show in the morning on Facebook, and then read whatever she's reading.
Yeah, because she reads some books. She can be your marketer.
Yeah, your best friend, your
cheerleader for whatever you're doing. She can do it, and we're going to see her, I think, in Atlanta this weekend.
She already said she's going to see us in Atlanta, and she's already started packing.
Oh, okay, okay.
She rubbing it in, Dr. Ross.
Yes, yeah, you see that,
right? Yeah. So, Sylvia, let people know how they can connect with you on your social media platforms and your website.
Well, you can always join me on my website at sylviahubbard.com. I'm writing actually a live story where you can come read it as I write, and that's called His Substitute Wife, My Best Friend. I'm writing it live. And you can join me on my website there, actually for free this time. And then you can join me on all my social media, everywhere except Facebook is Sylvia Hubbard 1, just like my name says down here. Okay. And that's my tag all over on YouTube, Instagram. You can join me, follow me, subscribe to me, and ask me anything you want and collect them all.
Well, you have really been, I didn't know you had 60 something books. I thought you were going to say like 30, which is still a big number, but I knew you have been out there a while, and we've been connected since I got on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You were one of my first connect, like my group of people that already had.
Yeah, I'm old.
You were part of that. So I've been seeing you and all the stuff you do. I see it. And I said, we need to have her back on the show. When I saw you had a new book coming out, I said, we need to have her back. So congratulations. Keep writing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, keep being creative about how you go about doing it. That's great.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Just don't stop. That's what I always tell people. Just don't stop. Don't stop at 1. Don't stop at 2. Don't stop at 10. Don't stop at 30. Keep it going.
Right. And if you outlast your competition, or you just outlast people in general, when you keep going,
Right.
you're blazing a trail.
Hmm.
And people pay attention to that.
And
So
that's
anyway,
yeah. That is a blessing to be coming so far, and then even be able to talk to Beverly Jenkins and
Yes.
conspire with her about things, and just saying, her coming and saying, that she's my shero, but then she turns around and says I'm her shero, because we learn from each other. So yeah, I tell young writers, keep going, keep reading, keep writing, don't stop, and just get up and do it again, no matter what.
And I love that.
that's great advice. Well, have a great week, and we'll be seeing you soon, I'm sure.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, that's it for this week on Black Authors Matter TV. If any of you all are going to be in Atlanta at the National Book Club Conference, you'll see Rhonda and I for the whole weekend. So we look forward to that. And otherwise, we will be back next Tuesday for another amazing show. And have a great week. I'm Gwen Richardson signing off.
And I'm Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.
Thank you for tuning in, and join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another edition of Black Authors Matter TV.